Good morning. This year as president has been shaped by my committee involvement, a term on council, a stint as secretary-treasurer, and a little bit of Scotch. I think back to the oath I swore in front of you a year ago, and I hope that my predecessors and future holders of this office will be gentle in their criticism and subtle in the compliments. This office has endured my tenure, and I leave it only slightly dented and scarred. The planning for this address started about a year ago. When you take on the mantle of president of our association, you come into the role with a list of things that must be done, that should be done, and things you want to do. From that list, this final address starts to be built. You want to highlight the good stuff, acknowledge the bad stuff, but generally leave a good impression that being president is not a bad way to spend a year. A year ago, I planned on welcoming you to Calgary. Today, I welcome you to my home in Edmonton. There's not much difference between the two places. Calgary is home to the Stampeders. Edmonton is home to a football club. Calgary has a top 25 hockey team. Edmonton has a top 10. If we were together in Calgary, I know that some people would still be in the lobby, getting coffee, connecting with colleagues, or just waiting for this speech to be over. In a virtual environment, I know that some of you are sitting in boardrooms, drinking coffee, connecting with colleagues, and have muted your speakers until you see that my lips have stopped moving. So again, things are the same. From the list of things that must be done, I would like to report that I am pleased with how creating and implementing our strategic initiatives has evolved this year. By focusing on our role as regulator, I believe our association was able to function with a business-as-usual approach during the last year. Exams were written, discipline cases were investigated, the competency of our members was reviewed, and, as you will see tonight, new members have joined our profession. Some of the strategic initiatives that Council identified have by necessity been multi-year tasks. Authoritative coordinates will require both legislative changes to allow their use and the development of standards to implement. Working with the Director of Surveys Office on potential changes to the Surveys Act has been both time-consuming in energy and rewarding in outcome. Hopefully, something will be coming out shortly because of those discussions. Professional governance is something that the Association put focus into for the last 3 years. This has positioned us well as the Government of Alberta is now moving on to examining changes to all the regulated professions. I know that there are some within our profession that believe that we are special, that our role as the boundary professional working in the interest of the public puts us on a different platform than the other regulated professions, that because things have been going so well, there is no need to change. While this position is aspirational, it is not correct. The Government of Alberta has committed to red tape reduction. Some in government see this as a mandate to reduce the number of pages of regulation. The Government of Alberta has committed to ensuring that there are fair registration practices in place. We are required to be accountable to any legislation that government puts in place to meet this requirement. The Government of Alberta has shown through changes to the healthcare professions that greater public involvement and scrutiny is important. Our processes, such as discipline, do not meet this standard. In effect, modernizing the way we govern ourselves in the public interest is not a boundary matter. It addresses the way all professions must govern themselves in the public interest. Lastly, as president, we come to the list of things I wanted to do. Being able to represent our association and Alberta across Canada at our sister associations' AGMs was something that I was honestly looking forward to. In the past year, I've spoken with many of our past presidents, and they have uniformly expressed that I missed out on some great memories and the opportunity to connect with some great people. I certainly agree with those sentiments. They have also said that I could run again for a second term. I certainly disagree with those sentiments. So now, I would like to report on my travels for the year. Would I travel in a car? Could I travel very far? Should I travel in a boat? Could I travel around a moat? Would I travel in a plane? Must I travel in the rain? Did I travel with a mouse? Did I stay inside my house? I did not travel in a car. I did not travel very far. Not in a boat, nor cross a moat. Not in a plane, not in the rain. I could not, would not with a mouse. I am certainly tired of my house. I did not travel, Sam, I am. I cannot travel. That is the plan. Thank you very much for your time this morning, and enjoy the rest of the annual general meeting.